All right, guys, welcome to episode 15 for the Pro Hustler TV. I'm super excited. If you guys are hopping on right now, you guys are going to get so much value. But beforehand, you guys know Pro Hustlers TV is about bringing hustlers, it's about bringing entrepreneurs, successful business owners, or anyone else that is out there and just sort of crushing it. And I'm super excited to have Caleb Williams with
Yeah.
you. Did I pronounce it right? Awesome. Okay, and he is actually, we actually met up at the event. We were in Orlando. We were doing a big event. Actually, he was one of the speakers there as well. And today, he's been doing this, and we're going to talk about his book because I know you're an author, and we're going to talk about how you first started out, and we're going to talk about the overall experience when you were younger and when you went through all the stuff. And he is the founder of Better Wealth Solution. Okay. He's obviously an entrepreneur, and on top of that, you do have a podcast. Same thing, Better Wealth.
Yep.
That's cool. So, anyways, welcome. Thank you for taking the time to hop on here.
Hey, I'm so grateful to be on here. I'm actually a fan of Pro Hustlers, and I'm glad that I'm considered a hustler because I think you and I wouldn't be where we are if we didn't hustle. So thank you for having me as a guest.
No worries. No, I'm super excited to share your story, guys. What I actually just went through today, especially with my son, what Caleb actually did. So we'll share that as well. But just one more thing I want to add, because I know you have Caleb, he has a true passion for financial education. So for all of you guys that are watching, you're going to get a lot of value from this. He helps people see that they can actually reach their highest potential. And that's something that all of us are sometimes struggling because, you're not sure where to start. And what Caleb actually did, he actually spent a lot of time with people that are successful to educate himself and get to the level. But first, what I want to talk about is, when we first started, because I know we were talking about when you were younger and I was younger, we were like the short guys,
Yeah.
So how did that affected, when you were growing up? I know your sister used to make fun of you and mine too.
Yeah. So just to paint a picture here, I'm the oldest of 6 kids, and I was always pretty serious as a kid, but I just would not grow. I just was so short.
Yeah.
And I remember being 12 years old and maybe being 5 foot. And my younger sister, who's 2 years younger than me, was taller, but you know how women kind of can mature faster, and she looked older than me. And she really made it a point to ask everyone, hey, who do you think is older? And so at Caleb at 12 years old wasn't that mature, and I thought people cared about me because didn't care about me because I was short. And but yeah, it's been kind of funny, but that's really turned out to be a blessing in disguise because I realized that at a young age I shouldn't be worried about things that I can't control. And so there you go.
And yeah, I think that was the biggest thing for me too. Sometimes you get picked on and doing the different things. So yeah, if you guys are hopping on, most of you guys are going to be watching replay. Comment replay. Let us know what part of the world you're watching from. Again, super excited. I know when we first started out, because I know when you're working, you were talking about you were money motivated. But what were you doing? What was your first job that you were started out?
Okay, so my first job was actually baking bread for homeschool moms because I was also homeschooled. But my real first job was at the age of 13. I started gutting chickens. I can't even make this up. I worked at a chicken farm because we had some friends that ran a chicken processing plant. And I remember going in the first day and being terrified of am I really gonna do this? And I worked there for a couple of years, and so grateful for that because I not only got to work hard and learn how to be efficient, but I also got to pick up some valuable tips and tricks on how to process a chicken in under a minute. So we got an episode on the efficiency of processing birds. I think I could add some value there.
You guys are vegetarian or vegans? Don't worry about it. There's no gutting chickens anymore.
I guarantee they just dropped off. We offended every single vegetarian and vegan.
Yeah, I actually changed it over because it wasn't public, so now it's actually public. So, anyways, I know when we first started out, as you went from that, and then you got to work when you were going to university. You actually went in and you started working with the bank. Is that correct?
Correct. So at the age of 17, I met with a gentleman actually who passed away just 2 months ago. And his name was Dick Judy, and he was this like retired university professor who really just cared a lot about the students and cared a lot about me. And again, I think a lot of people see me now and they're like, Caleb, like you're super confident and all this stuff. You have to realize at the age of 16 and 17, I was super insecure and nervous, right? So at the age of 17, I go and talk to him at an IHOP. And now get this, I grew up in Wisconsin and it was super cold out and I was so nervous that I left my car on, okay? And beforehand, I wrote out my questions that I was gonna ask him with my mom, okay? This is me at 17 years old. And I sit down and right away, he's just super like, just lightens up my day and just, I feel easy right in talking with him. And he said, young man, you need to get a job. You need experience. And because I was asking him like, where should I go to college? What should I be doing? He's like, you need experience. And so he picks up his phone in IHOP, gets me a job at the bank because he was on the board. And that was one of the first times that I realized our net worth could be in our network, and the power of networking, the power of just interacting with people that truly want you to win. And it was a really, really powerful thing. And that's kind of what started my whole career.
Oh, that's awesome. See, one decision, even though you were talking to your mom and writing your questions. I mean, as a 16, 17, a lot of us are not secure. Some of us, we're thinking about playing video games or going out or having fun with the friends, and you are focusing on, because when you have that coach and we have a mentor and you're saying networking, it is important. It's sometimes, it's not what you know, it's what you know as well, but who you know helps you, especially when you are surrounded with the people that can actually help you succeed. And like today, we talked about actually just first time met my son, and because actually when we were at the event, it was an event that actually Dennis, you were speaking. We're learning about Facebook, and you actually had a chance to speak as well. And Caleb actually did something that meant so much to me. He actually took my camera and left a message for my 15-year-old. And when I got home, I was able to actually play it for him, and he actually ended up creating a video saying thank you video. He got into video editing, and he's just working now. He just opened a business. Literally, just put in the perspective is how powerful it is that you can motivate others. But I know while you're working at the bank yourself, you as a 19-year-old, you got keys to the entire investment department. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so at 17, I worked in the teller line, and I started networking with people around our community and started getting well known. I started connecting with people, and it was really, really clear to me that, okay, I could go and make a little bit more money per hour, but I wanted to actually stay at that institution and provide value and learn things so that I could ultimately create more money. Okay, so a thing that I learned at a young age is instead of chasing money, chase value and learn to be more valuable to others, and then the money will follow. And so I was at this small community bank with 3 branches. It was a community bank. And the CEO of the bank was like second father to me. And he's like, Caleb, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so I'm going to show you different areas of the bank investment department, commercial loan department. I got to do a little bit of marketing. And so I'm learning all this just really at a rapid level. And then at the age of 19, the guy that was running our investment department took another job. And I remember thinking, I'm like, okay, who's going to take over? And it happened to be like this short-term plan. Okay, you, Caleb, you call the customers, we'll be fine, and we'll find someone else in the meantime. Yeah. And that was that they never found someone. So for 2 years, I worked and ran the bank's investment department and learned a ton. And we could probably spend a whole hour talking about some of the lessons that I've learned just in taking over and working with people because I had some big shoes to fill.
For sure, and especially at the young age when you were running the investment department, you had people coming in to invest money, and they look at you like, "Can I talk to the manager or can I talk to someone in charge?" And here I am.
10 minutes of horror. They walk into the bank and they're like, "Hey, we're here to invest our money," or the best one is an annual review. And the guy that I replaced, he was like 58, gray hair, wore a suit and tie, and I would come out of the office. And at first they were like, oh, this is like the assistant, like, okay, and so they would, walk into the corner. I would shut the door. I would sit in the seat, and you could just see their face. They're like eyeing up the door. They're like, is this really happening? And I called it the 10 minutes of horror because after a while, people would be comfortable. And I think it's because I've learned at a very young age the soft skills of communicating, asking questions. I took good notes. And if I didn't know something, I did not BS them. I just was like, I'll find out for you. And so I gained some amazing relationships through that. And I'm just so grateful for the people that believed in me at 19 years old who really they shouldn't have really believed in me. But it was because of them that I'm able to do what I'm able to do. And yeah, I learned after a while, those walls would come down and we had some great times.
Wow, that's awesome. And I love the way you said that, at the beginning when you were coming in, stuff like that. It's how you talk to people and how you actually invest a couple of years, not even getting paid, because a lot of people will chase their money differently. They will actually go in and they'll start chasing money. I'm going to get raised. I'm going to get paid here, more here. But what you did is you literally spent two years almost getting paid the same to get the knowledge to all of a sudden explode your business. It's like not a lot of people are willing to put in, even in entrepreneurship, like where I do with the business, with online, they're not willing to put in 2 years of not making a lot of money to all of a sudden making that massive amount of money.
Right. And it goes back to what do we really want? And so many people are caught in the rat race of just chasing a little bit higher rate of return or whatever, and or just get $2 more an hour. And there's nothing wrong with that. That all compounds and adds up. And I wrote a book on money. Like every dollar counts.
Yep.
But it's like so many times we're sacrificing massive opportunity and upside because we're so short-minded. And I was grateful enough to save money at a young age. And it was really, really clear to me that my goal wasn't to make a couple extra dollars an hour. I actually wanted to figure out how I could bring massive value. And that's kind of what I did. So at the age of 19, I took over the bank's investment department. But instead of like going and selling directly, like, hey guys, I'm your new expert. Like, I went on like a 2-year mission to try to figure out and learn from the best people as it relates to money. And when you're 19 years old and when you are willing to hustle and when you're proactive and you're calling people, I would call authors, I would look at leaderboards, I just was, obsessed about trying to find the best ways to help people with money. And that's when I started learning from some really incredible people that like poured their time and energy and resources into me. And that's another thing that when people come to me and ask me like, what's your piece of advice that you give me? It's like, people are willing to help. Like if someone came to you, you would help them. If someone came to me and wanted help, I would help them because I was helped. And so many people out there are not willing to ask for help or not proactive enough to want to ask for help. But it's an amazing thing when you do that and you know where you want to go. And so I was just grateful to have people give at a really, really incredible level.
And it's so true though, because when a lot of people are asking for something in return, instead of, hey, I need help with this, and it's give something in return, or like even like don't ask for, to get paid for right away and giving value to people. And when you talked about how you have to be sincere, and that's one of the things that I noticed when I have met you, you are so sincere, and that's what a lot of people are going to be approaching. Guys, keep an eye on this guy. He is going to go places. You guys are going to be looking at him. Next, I'm not even surprised if, mark my words, in the Forbes magazine, like it's gonna be amazing. But you put in the work, you sacrifice things. Kids are not willing to do that, and a lot of times we talk about kids. And actually, we did a video about the finances and kids and school versus learning from an entrepreneur. What kind of suggestions for all the viewers that are watching, if you have, like, how to use their money wisely? Like, what suggestion would you, because I know you could go on for hours, you have so much knowledge.
Yeah.
Just overall, like, about money.
Yeah. This is the first, so your audience is a lot of people that are wanting to do something extra to make extra money and, live a life that they want to live. And this is the first thing that I would say. Everyone's looking for investment advice. And if you're not living your dreams right now, you have to take a step back and realize that you are your greatest asset. And this is what I mean, is your ability to create income, your ability to provide value, your ability to kind of create what you want to create is your greatest asset. If something in your life is prohibiting you to do that, like have a really frank conversation with yourself. And then also figure out what you're really good at. Like, I'm a terrible writer, okay? So for me to maybe go in and hustle in writing might be a really bad idea. but maybe I should hustle and figure out how I can give more talks because I enjoy talking and I'm a better speaker than I am writer. And so the second thing that I do is like figure out what you're really good at and start investing in yourself. And so that's the first big thing. And then the second thing is you want to be efficient with your resources. And so that's kind of the second area is when people start making money, you want to be efficient with the money that you have coming in. And so many people aren't even able to get to where they want to go is because they're hustling, they're making money, they are their greatest asset, but they're making money and it's going right out the door. Sometimes they know it, sometimes they don't know it. And so the third area is getting in the habit of saving money. And you're not going to become wealthy by just saving, but you need the habit of saving to be able to create capital to have your money start working for you. And so the third area is starts paying yourself first. So many people are using their money, spending their money, and then whatever's left over, they're going to save. And that means they have nothing left over.
No, it's paycheck. It's called living paycheck to paycheck. And
Right.
I remember we were talking about this at the event, and you were saying, you know, the dollar that you spend now, it's actually costing you way more down the road instead of you saving it, because you actually, like, think about it, if you buy something that, you know, let's say a cup of coffee or something, and if you invest that or hold that and reinvest it into something else, even yourself, it will pay you out so much more.
Totally. And have you heard of the latte effect? This idea that you go and buy a $4 coffee, what does that actually cost you in 40 years? Okay, it costs you more than $4 because that $4 could be doing some kind of productivity for you, whether it's earning interest, whether it's investing in an education program, whatever that is. And it's not like don't buy a latte. I had one this afternoon. It's just have a realization that every dollar matters. And here's another thing is the fourth thing, and this is like really, really important. So you're your greatest asset. Be efficient with your money. Get in the habit of saving it. The fourth thing is use it in a way that it aligns with your why. So if you're someone that's not like, if you're someone that wants to be an entrepreneur, then you probably have a business. Maybe your business is your greatest investment, not the stock market, not a retirement plan. Maybe it's your business because your business will be able to produce what you actually want. Maybe if you're into real estate, invest in real estate. Maybe if you're telling me that your family's important, why don't you invest in your family? Those are the kind of things that I'm kind of thinking outside the box, but like we only get one shot at this thing called life. All right. You're your greatest asset, be efficient with your dollars, get in the habit of saving, and then use it in a way that aligns with your why. And if you get those four things, whether you have $100 in your pocket or 100 million in your bank account, like that's the 4-step process to really multiply what you want.
That's so true. Like, look around the house right now and the things that you don't really need, you just bought it because you wanted to feel good or whatever it is. And you can actually invest in it. And then a lot of people are closed-minded when it comes to that as well, or just not educated. I think even our schools, in schools with kids, now they're starting to more, but there was no education about, finances or anything like that. It's like, here is how you do this, and maybe math or learn history, but nothing in regards to finances.
Right. Absolutely.
But what I want to do is, because I know this is how we actually started coming up. This is the book, guys, and we'll pop it up in here. But I want to talk about this. You wrote this book. How old are you when you wrote this book?
At 21 years old.
Okay, so at 21 years old, you wrote this book now, and I'll show you guys an ability how you guys can get it actually for free, because we're going to share the link with you. So stick around here till the end. If you guys are still here, comment below. Yes, I want this book for free. I want to hear you guys saying it. But what I want to talk about is, how did you come up with the name, and what made you decide to write this book?
Right. So I'm gonna give you the short overview because this could be a 2-a-day course. But essentially, this is what I've learned. I started becoming fascinated by how people made money and how institutions worked and all this kind of stuff. And I realized that the people that were really winning were playing the rules, like playing the game differently. And the way that they were thinking about efficiency, the way that they were getting compounding in their control. But the most important thing is they control their money like banks. And so the reason behind the name is the and asset. The subtitle is the secret way to save and use your money at the same time. Okay, now think about it. Your greatest financial need is using money. People in the financial world are going to tell you it's to invest or whatever. That's, it's not true. Your greatest financial need is using money. But every time you use money, you lose what that dollar could have grown. So what if you could do both? And the institutions that are really winning are getting money to do two things for them. And so that's simply what I'm sharing with people is what if there are strategies out there that allow your money to compound the rest of your life and be able to use to invest in your business? And I go into kind of a breakdown of how the strategy works, what kind of products we use, because they're not some stock or mutual fund. They're special type of contracts that you can do in Canada and the US that when I started learning about this, it took me a while to like actually believe it. But then when you look at what the banks are doing, when you look at what the wealthy are doing, they're all putting their money in doing things like this. And then you look at average America and we're doing nothing like this. And so when I realized that, I was like, I have a moral responsibility to share this. And with that responsibility, that's why I started my own company. We work with people in over 20 states in the USA. I have a partner in Canada that work with Canadians. And the reason why I did this, the reason I wrote this book, the reason why I have a podcast is I literally want to share with people that money is an amazing tool and they can start using it to live their sole purpose.
And then I love the way you always talk about giving value. And that's what we actually do even in my business. It's about value. It's about actually educating people. And because at the end of the day, so, you know, when we have people, actually people are coming in here, hey, I would like to get a free book. Hey, I would love a free book. Wait around. I'll show you guys. I'm going to share a link with you guys. Got to stick around till the end and we'll do it right at the end. But one of my favorite questions we talked about, and I know we can move on to this a little bit and we can discuss this, but there's that question, and all of you guys are listening right now, okay? I want you to guys ask yourself the same question. What would you be doing right now if money was not an issue? Like right now you have money coming in every single month. What would you be doing with your time if money was not an issue right now?
Can I first, I'll answer that question, I promise, but this is the epiphany that I had. So I was watching Simon Sinek Start With Why for probably like the 10th time. I'm obsessed with that video and his book. And I was realizing that people really aren't motivated by money. They're really not. They're motivated on what it can buy them, but they're really not motivated by money. People are not really motivated by truth. Now that shocked me because I'm like, if I could prove someone this is true, and if I could back it up with numbers, there'd be a line outside the door. Well, there's no one even in my office, let alone the door. So I was like, okay, what do people really want? And that's when it hit me. I was like, okay, why aren't we asking people what they actually want in life? And the problem is, and this is going to hit hard for some people listening to this, the problem is that people are living lives that they really don't want to live to impress people that they don't really care about. And they're really trapped, and they've really never been honest with themselves. They've never really had an honest conversation on like, okay, I get one shot at this thing called life, and what do I really want? A lot of people don't actually know what they want. And so the first thing that I do is, okay, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. Like literally, it doesn't really matter what I do with your money. I could lose it. If you don't know where you're going, there's nothing really to work towards. So the first thing is identify where you want to go. And that could be, and then when you really break it down, where should you go? Is it something selfish, like maybe traveling? Because I talk to a ton of people and I ask them, what would you do if money was an issue? And a lot of times they go, we spend more time with family, travel, I'd buy cars and houses, and that's all fine, 100%. But will that really bring you joy? I don't know. What I would do is the reason I am doing what I'm doing is I want to serve people at a high level. My mission statement that I made at 18 was to help people see and reach their highest potential. Like I do what I do because when I see someone's eyes light up, that the potential that they didn't even see in themselves, they're starting to see, not because I told them, because I started asking questions and showed them that there some things that they didn't think were possible are now possible. Like that is incredible. And that's why I do what I do, because I'm realizing that money is an amazing tool, but so many people are shackled by the fact that because they don't understand it, they're actually a slave to the system and money's controlling their life. And if we can change that around, if we can show people how they can use a dollar in more than one place, we can show them how they can save it for the future, but also use it in the present, man, like it starts getting really, really good. And that's why I do what I do, because people are going to live their dreams and serve people at a high level because I'm doing my work. And that's just a cool thing to do. So that's a long answer, but I kind of gave that long answer because I'm hoping the people listening to this live and after this is done being recorded will really take a look at their life, because that could be the most important question that you ask yourself.
That is so powerful. I love your passion, how you're driven so much. And that's that's what, I mean, there's so many people out there that are just going to talk about money. They're talking about different things, but here, to actually have the advice and ask yourself that question. Like I said, if money was not an issue, a lot of times we don't even know sometimes. What are you passionate about? Would you travel more? Would you be spending more time with your family? Would you ask yourself that question? And you know what? That's what made me realize when I was working in the corporate world for 18 years, 16 years into it, I had that moment, just like, lying in the sand moment. It's like, that's not what I want to do. I see all those guys doing it. That's not what I want to spend time with my family. I missed out so much with my kids. And that's what I took action. And I asked myself that question. What would I be doing if money was not an issue? Even spending home time, with traveling with the family, just visiting, like for me, kids are everything. And to be able to actually spend time with them, to go to their birthday parties or to go to certain things. There's some people that live there, see the first steps of their kids on a camera, on the thing, because they have to work in a, far away. Yeah. So definitely, that's awesome, amazing. So for you guys, again, there's going to be a lot of you guys who want to actually put this out there. So how many of you guys, again, if you guys are watching even replay, wants the book and you want to get it, I'm going to give you guys a code in 1 second. Okay. But before we get on, any advice that you can give someone that is watching right now, okay, and they're maybe looking for a way to save, but they're still stuck in that paycheck to paycheck. We always say some people are working 3 jobs that I know, and they still can bear by. What is the one maybe they can do that maybe get them?
The biggest thing is start tracking your money, because a lot of times we buy stuff that we just don't even want. Like I mentioned the latte effect earlier, but really you can go to Starbucks and spend $20 if you're with a couple people. And so that's the first thing, is when you track money, you start just becoming more aware. And then the second thing is be just really self-aware of what you want. And sometimes I've just realized when people get really clear on what they want, the reason why they're struggling is they don't know where they're going. And so you just wake up Monday morning and being like, what am I doing? But if you have something that you can work towards, then you can start cutting things out to kind of save so that you can live a life someday in the future that you can't live now. And the big thing is, I'm a big fan of what Robert Kiyosaki says. Okay. He says, don't ever say I can't afford something, because that's really eliminating a belief, right? But ask the question rather, how can I afford that? And it goes back to goals. And so the big thing is track what you're spending, be self-aware in what you're doing. And if you're feeling like you're living paycheck to paycheck, just do a good audit your life. And then the best thing that you can do is figure out how to make more money. Because we could, on one hand, talk about how you could shrimp and don't go to Starbucks or Tim Hortons or whatever, or you could just make more money. And I'm a big fan of helping people get that they are their greatest asset, figure out what they're good at, and then instead of making $40,000 a year, maybe we could double that, and that would change your life. So that's, again, I'm not in the business of short answers. I apologize, but that's my.
Okay, guys. If someone doesn't want to watch it, you guys don't have to watch it here. It's about value, and it is about, and it's those small purchases that we don't see. Because if you buy $2, $5, $10, you don't see that. You will see a $5,000 purchase. It's like, whoa, that's big. But when you add that up, count it out, track it for 30 days, 60 days, and you'll be surprised how much you spend on those lattes, how much you spend on things like, what is this? Or maybe cancel some of those subscriptions. But we always talk about your paycheck and money is not the issue. It's not the debt that you have, it's the money. So if you raise your income, you're going to get rid of the debt.
And most people's greatest asset is their ability to earn income.
Yeah, it is. And a lot of times we're working for that $12, $15 an hour in a job, but you can do better. So if you guys are watching, just look at it. You don't have to be working for someone else that is not respecting you. Even yes, you're comfortable and stuff like that. It's great. Look what out there. What are you passionate about? So that's awesome. Anyway, so the name of the book, guys, The End Asset. Okay, we're gonna share a link for you guys in 1 second. Amazing. Hopefully you guys get a little bit of value. We can be on here for hours because I know I connected so well with you, Caleb. I'm so grateful for you, what you have done just for my son to look up to you. For anyone of you guys watching right now, share this with anyone, like maybe your son, maybe your daughter, maybe someone that is younger. Get them to watch this because Caleb is a good example of what is possible. He was surrounded with the right people. He was able to, from the beginning, like imagine when he was talking about a 17-year-old getting his mom to write down questions so he can meet up with one of the, was it professor?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's about value. You have completely transformed my son's life. He looks up to you and I'm so grateful forever. The book, guys, if you guys are looking for the book, Caleb is actually kind enough to get it. So comment free below and I'll post the link. Okay. And you guys are going to be able to pick it up. I think you just have to pay for shipping. Is that correct?
Yes. And if you live in Canada, I'll pay the difference. I want to get you the book. And man, I feel so grateful that I get to be on your show. You're doing amazing things. I love your energy and vice versa. Connecting with people that like are good and passionate about what they do, but love their family is like, man, incredible. So thank you for being a great example of what I want to be like when I'm a father someday.
Oh, it's amazing. Like I said, it's just I have learned so much through the experience, and thank you very much. Hey guys, thanks for helping. Hey Tammy, hey Bianca, hey Kate, Amy. We have a few people helping on as well too. So if you guys again watching it, hop on here. Mention to Caleb. He said he's willing to pay it. I know we talked about that Amazon. You're going to be looking into that as well to get a book on there too. And if you guys like the book, when you get it, get someone else to buy them a copy. Get them as a gift, because if this can implement and talks about all the different things, a 19-year-old writing this book, and you were saying like you had problems writing things out.
Yeah.
And now you ended up writing it out, and it's amazing what you can accomplish. And you are an amazing example for others. So for all of you guys that are watching, again, I want you guys to, go to your kids, hug them, and tell them that anything is possible, and get them to follow Caleb, because, it reminds me when I first started out, obviously, I didn't have that example. I didn't have that opportunity, but we all do. I just didn't know where to begin, where to start when I first started. So that's amazing. Awesome. Anyway, thank you again for being here again. So if you guys have the link up there, just click on it. Get the book, read it, and then maybe send a nice review on maybe if you're ordering on Amazon or something.
The best way someone could help me is if you like the book, review it either on Amazon or do a video review. I would use it. I'm looking for as many people to say nice things about the book as possible. So again, appreciate you so much. And I just want your listeners to remember that they're listening to you. If they have their dream that they have, or if they know where they want to go, like do a self-audit and figure out a way to get there. And if there's anything that I can do to help, please let me know, because I'll do it.
For sure, guys. Thank you again. And then again, pick up the book and do a video review. Like, this is so powerful. If you're not good on videos, write it out. It'll help Caleb at the same time. He's giving you a book for free. So it's amazing. Guys, thank you again for watching. And if you guys watch a replay, comment replay. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And one thing I want to ask you, if you guys watched it all the way till the end, I want you to put down one thing. What is the favorite thing that you just watched? What was the one favorite thing out of the whole, value that we give you guys? And just comment below, and I'll reply to all of you guys. And we're gonna share this, and I'll even boost this as well too. So hopefully Facebook likes the logo. All right, Caleb, love and appreciate you. Appreciate you being on here, and we'll definitely chat soon. Cheers, guys.
Take care, man. Take care. Bye.